If you've been a gamer for any amount of time, you've undoubtedly heard of the multiplayer online battle arena, or a MOBA. You know, games like League of Legends, Dota 2, the ill-fated Heroes of the Storm. I weep for you, HOTS. I really, really do. Today's game is none of those things, but it is clearly inspired by MOBAs. This game is called EverSiege. The best way I can describe it is this is kind of like playing PvE Dota, but with some roguelite RNG tossed into it. You'll be fighting waves of creeps to try and protect your base, while also spending a lot of time jungling, so to speak, leveling up your character, getting stronger, and ready to defeat a final boss. It's pretty unique, not something I've seen before, so I thought we'd try it out today. There is a demo available, but the full game will be released in March. There is a backstory and a lore to this game. Basically, some forces of evil have awakened beyond the kingdoms of man. One by one, those kingdoms have fallen until they reach the last city of Bastion, where they employed the help of the Chronomancers to create a spell that kept the city outside of time for a good long while. But now that shield is falling, and a hero needs to protect the city from the forces of darkness. We are playing as a Skyran, a spirit created by the Elder Gods long ago, now given form to become a guardian of man. When you first start playing this game, you're going to have the option between some WASD movement controls or the more classic MOBA controls, which is what I've opted for today. And then when you start out a game, you have to choose your war gear. I've only got this unlocked in the demo right now, but there are 6 overall when the game comes out. These are different character archetypes, different weapons, different skills. You get the idea. But you can customize your character a bit further by choosing from different magical essences, which are going to open up different types of abilities or skills that you can choose from and bring these into the fight, which is pretty darn helpful. Probably very relevant when you play in co-op mode and want to have some synergies that work well with your teammates. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. And jumping into the game, this is our Bastion. We must defend it with our lives from mobs of creeps that are running down the path. And of course, we will be generating our own creeps in order to counter them, and there goes the kind of tug-of-war aspect you expect from a game like Dota. Now, we could follow the path and try to assist our troops, and that's a good way of getting some early XP and pushing the waves, but really what you want to do in the game is jungle. Look for these little chests, look for shards, look for any upgrades that you can use to make yourself stronger. One thing I want to do very early on is upgrade my economy. We have a gold mine over here, and I'm going to spend what gold I have to upgrade this. You may have noticed we have these little miners running around. They'll come down here, gather some gold, and ferry it all the way back to the base. The more money we have, the more upgrades I can get for my city, which is going to be very important. Up over here, we see we have a guarded chest with some mobs. I'm going to run in over here, use one of my abilities, and try to kill these guys off so I can get myself an early artifact to change up my gameplay. So let's do that here. I get one of 2 different options here. We have the Training Amulet, increase gold earned when using looting a gold chest. I mean, okay, scales with an amplifier or an attribute. I mean, that's nice, I guess. Or, our attack damage goes up for every elemental effect applied to an enemy. Could be relevant, so I'll pick that sucker up. There are other points of interest you want to worry about. So right here, for example, we have the Knight Order. If I had some money, instead of just sending out 5 spearmen, I could also send out a couple of knights. And the good thing about this building is I can make my knights stronger and even upgrade them into crusaders. So that's very important later on. Over here is one of those shards. Usually they are defended. This one is not, so we're going to go ahead and grab this. Now, you need to understand what amplifiers are before we go any further. These are kind of like attributes, right? We have Rage, Arcane, Tactical, and Fate amplifiers. And if you look over your abilities, you're going to see that you have the symbol corresponding to certain skills. So you might be able to intuitively figure out the stronger you are in one particular attribute, the stronger that skill is going to be. So pick and choose a little bit based on which skills you think you're going to be using a lot, and then which of these other effects you care about. For example, I like the idea of some cooldown reduction early on so I can use Whirlwind more often, but it's also going to lead to making things like my Blazing Light ability a bit stronger once I do level up. For now, let's continue running around and try to find some small, easy little camps of enemies. There are a lot of really big, strong ones that will kill me dead right now, so I don't want to mess with any of those. But small, easy things to help me level up a little bit faster, yeah, that would be great. There's also going to be some enemies running down here just about now if I follow down the path. There they are. Let's go ahead and try to start killing some of these off. I wouldn't mind farming a little bit of early XP. Now, one thing about movement controls is really important to understand. If I double right-click on the map, that, I'm going to start running, which is great for getting around. But if I want to attack, I need to slow down and walk. So what happens a lot of the time is I'm running, and then I really have a hard time actually telling my character to slow down. Like, I want to start walking sometimes, and he's just going around and spinning around the enemies and doing absolutely nothing, and I start getting wailed on. That becomes a bit frustrating at some point, and it's a bit awkward. I don't love it, but at least I understand what I'm trying to do. These, by the way, are towers over here. If I want to spend some money, we can get some towers going. That would slow down enemies, kill a bunch of them. I'm not worried about it quite yet, but I will be later on. Now, you need to move kind of fast in this game because there is a day-night cycle if you are paying attention. What's going to end up happening is when nighttime hits, enemies are going to spawn a really large, nasty wave. And your own army probably won't be able to fight it on their own, so you'll have to help them, and you need to be ready for that. Also, at the beginning of every day, those enemy creeps are going to get 1 level stronger. So if you're sitting around and kind of wasting time, the game gets harder and harder as it goes on. So you're going to feel a constant pressure to be scaling up your own character as well as your own army back at the Bastion. Now, we have leveled up, so I'm going to go ahead and use this. This gives me an evolution, one of 2 very nice random abilities. We can go for extra Fate Armor, which just blocks a hit, so can be nice, or increase my speed based on my rage. Now, I'm going to get a lot of rage because I want to make a very good whirlwind ability, and speed is kind of hard to come by. The faster I am, the easier it is for me to strafe attack enemies, so I do like that idea quite a lot. My Skyrim is going to have some extra chance of restraining effects to resist them, sorry. I mean, that's nice, but I'd rather just go ahead and have automatic critical strike chances on my auto attack. That's pretty good. And let's keep running around. More points of interest. This is a dungeon. If we were to go down and fight 8 floors of enemies, we can get some pretty nice loot, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I am far, far, far too weak. Now, you might be wondering, what do you do with all this gold aside from trying to get things like the gold mines upgraded? Well, if I hit the V key, we can see village buildings back at the Bastion. So what we can do is build things like a knight's barrack. This is going to produce 4 of those knights we had talked about earlier, so that's nice. And we'll go ahead and do that now. And then once you do that, you'll be able to get some evolutions to make it stronger. So for every 5 soldiers produced, we get an extra knight, or more knights for every different unit type. They can do thunder damage, pretty nice stuff. Could be useful. In the demo, I think we only have access to the knights, archers, a shardsmith, and a tavern if we want to hire some mercenaries that can follow me around. All right, looks like we are going to have our nighttime in a second. Here's an artifactor. We could spend some money to buy something, a belt of survival. Whenever I'm below 60% HP, I'm going to get 5 of all the attributes. Could be useful in some circumstances. Can't afford it right now, but maybe later I will. And here we can find an altar of power. If I spend some of my life points, I can get myself a couple of extra attributes, which would be nice if I weren't bleeding to death right now. That really big wave should be approaching right about now. I need to run down the path. There they are. All right, these are the big guys. So I can try to strafe attack a bunch of these for a little bit, which isn't a bad idea while I wait for some creeps to arrive. I could also try to run back and get some towers, but I don't really have any gold. My miners have kind of given up on that for a little bit, so we're on our own, but that's fine. Lots and lots of juicy XP coming to me. I like it. Case in point, we level up. Another evolution. Get more XP or raise our run speed when invisible or in a ghost state. I don't know how to get these, so I'm just going to go for 20% more XP. Seems pretty good early in the game. We have basically killed off this entire wave all on our own with no additional help. The wave got stuck further down the path. That's fine, though. I'll keep taking that XP. Another level up. Manor Lord. Okay. Or the radius of jumping strike. If I had tactical amplifiers, this could be good. I guess I'll take this. I don't expect to get a lot of tactical amplifier, but I'll get some, and that could still be useful. Got ourselves another artifact over here. What do we get? Again, tactical amplifier, resisting those effects, or regain all of our fate armor. I don't have any of this yet, but I'll probably get some. I don't know, man. I guess I kind of want to take this, because I would hate to get rooted at some point when I start fighting some big scary mobs. What do we find up over here? An iron mine? Sure, we could do this. This would increase the damage of us and our Scryon units. I mean, yeah, it's pretty good. I guess I'll go ahead and just get it upgraded. More damage is always nice, but I'll invest in that more later. Let's run back over here and get this Fletcher's Enclave up and running so I can start having some archers join in on the fray. And I think I could maybe fight over the gold mine. Where did that go? Down over here. There's one guy guarding it, but getting the extra money early would make it a lot easier for me later on. So let's jump in over there, yoink, and then try to avoid his attacks. Now, this is where he's going to split stuff at me, so I don't want to be bleeding if I can avoid it. He's going to do this attack that you want to run from, but that's where, like, I have to find a way to slow down effectively so I can actually fight him. Otherwise, I just start running circles around him, and as a result, I don't actually, you know, kill him, and that's kind of a problem. Anyway, he's going to go down. There we go. All right, let's get this gold mine up and a-running. I'll upgrade it all the way. Boom. A lot more income. And because you're always on the clock, right, you're always racing to make sure that you get as much done as possible for the enemy's scale up in power, the result is that you really probably have an optimal order of doing things in this game, but you're going to have to practice quite a lot before you figure that out. I can't pretend that I have figured it out yet, but I'm working on it. Another level up for us. What do we get? Auto attack damage is going to go up based on your fate amplifier while in the kingdom. Now, that I don't know what that means. Does that mean staying in a very specific part of the map, in which case I probably don't care? Or rather, at least it's not going to help me when I fight the end boss. I guess I'll increase my power after every time I resurrect from death. I hope not to die, but if I do, at least there's a silver lining. What's this? Another gold mine. Gimme. Run in. Let's take on this much bigger, scarier, nasty thing. I should be able to beat him. I've just got to be careful where he is doing any of his special attacks. Stay out of that as much as I can. He'll do little web attacks to slow me down. That poison spray, no thank you. And he's going down, which means more gold mine upgrades for me. Okay, this is about as good as I can get with my economy. Night has fallen once again, which means we're going to have some big scary waves to deal with. I can try to assist my guys, and I probably should, but I've got a little time before they arrive, so maybe we can do a bit more creeping. Not a lot of time, though. The enemies are already here. My miners are trying to run straight through them. Very bold of you. You're all dead. Yeah. We need to get some walls up in this area to try and protect the main road. Otherwise, there's a good chance my money just gets, interrupted a lot. Now, this is a really big, nasty wave. I am going to struggle to kill this thing down fast enough. I will try, though. I've got some of my own armies to try and defend. Got another level up. Could be useful. Regain energy for every enemy hit with a jumping strike. Pretty good. Or are skills damaged by 10% of the arcane amplifier. What, all of my skills? All of it? Scaling with arcane amplifier? Because that seems really, really good. Okay, arcane mastery it is then. Let's see if that works. Oh, that does seem to have increased the damage at least a bit. I don't know how much, really, but, it feels like a lot. Okay, that's been dealt with. Resume the game. What else can we upgrade back at home? Maybe get some more knights and stuff. Yeah, thunder damage, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It doesn't seem quite strong enough for what I want. I think I really wanted to get some archers. We just got a bit more money. All right, now we can get ourselves that building. Perfect. Now, one problem I have had with this game on occasion is it does feel like the performance is not always in, shall we say, the best shape. Many times I've had this game kind of stutter or start to freeze out on me, or just the sound cut out for seemingly no reason. Just a little bit of frustration going on there. I hope that's something that gets improved early on in this game's development. I mean, I say early on, it's due to come out in March, but it needs a little work there, so they got a little time to get that fixed. Got another level up. Whirlwind of Thorns, inflict bleed damage. Gets better the more rage I have and stuff. Well, that seems solid. Or enemy units within the area have a chance to get stunned. Ooh. I mean, those both seem really, really good. I'm going to go for the bleed damage, though, because I think just making that better is just phenomenal. Another really big wave is on the way, and I did not get the upgrades that I needed at this area. So let's see if we can run over here. We've got a bit of time before the big wave approaches. There it is. There's also a boss about halfway down the map. Our goal is to basically get all the way to the end and kill the big, scary bad guy. Look how big our wave is, by the way. It's looking pretty solid all of a sudden. So we're going to have to fight kind of a long way to get to that point. Every run does seem to take a pretty long time. This is not exactly a fast-paced game. But the boss fights are pretty fun. It does remind me a little bit about playing something like, let's say, Dota 2's Aghanim's Labyrinth. You guys remember that? That was actually my absolute favorite way of playing something like Dota 2. I had a tremendous amount of time playing that version of the game. It was great, even if it was all PvE. Very challenging. Do I think I can defeat a powerful boss over here? Not yet. What I really want to have are some mercenaries, and for that I need to go to our kingdom and get ourselves a tavern, which I can buy, to then double up the number of mercenaries I can get, and then hire up some soldiers, knights, and archers. Boom. All right, so these guys now immediately are going to be following me around. I didn't really want them to engage with this guy, so now they're just taking a bunch of damage, but fine. In for a penny, in for a pound, I say. Oh, they're already about to die. Great. Let's try, though. Let's go into this creature's lair. I may be able to defeat this super boss. I may not. We're going to find out. Hello! Gotta try to avoid all this. I don't think these guys are going to live for very long, but they might distract... Oh, God, I just died. Okay, no, we cannot fight this thing yet. We need to get the heck out of here. Holy crud. Sorry, mercenaries. I led you to your death, but you know what? It was a worthy experiment. Another evolution for me. Every frost and thunder damage is raised. I don't do frost or thunder damage, so I don't care. If I die, I resurrect with full HP and all my cooldowns. Okay. Might be time to venture down the lane and try to get a little bit more aggressive. What I'd really like to do is try to defeat that middle boss we saw earlier. And I have a decent wave to work with here, and I'm at full HP, so... Oh, is he already... Wait, is he already dead? Did they already kill him and I didn't even notice? Well done, creeps. Well, that's disappointing. I wanted to fight a boss. All right, free rare shards for me. I'll boost up my attributes by an absolute ton, and I could get a lot of cooldown reduction. That's not bad. Or so much more rage. Or a load more auto attack damage. Oh, boy. I wish I knew what 45 cooldown reduction meant exactly. If I hold this down, like... Yeah, cool. It says this is the cooldown reduction value of 80 that I've got right now. Cool, but what does that mean? What does that translate into? Is this a 1% difference or a 10% difference? Like, these things matter. I also wish, if I was looking at these shards and trying to figure out which amplifiers I want, that I could hover over all the different artifacts I've got, and the tooltip wouldn't be hidden under this tooltip. Because that also could be relevant for how I make my decisions. I'm going to go for the cooldown reduction. I don't know if it's the right call, but it feels good. And since the middle boss is already dead, let's go ahead and invade a whole new area. Now, this place is going to be especially dangerous. Big, scary enemies everywhere. So I doubt that I can do much here unless I'm ready to go ahead and start fighting some big, scary mobs, but I'm not sure that I'm strong enough yet. There's another dungeon of some sort over here, a crystal tomb. Prevents the unit level from increasing if we can destroy this. It's not bad, but it's going to be kind of hard to do on my own at this level. I need to get a little stronger still. Free artifact is nice, though. I'll take this. What do we get? Soul Reaver. Regain HP for every enemy killed. Scales with rage. Pretty good. Or auto attack damage and power strike are increased by 50% against bosses. Very relevant. I mean, I like it. I like it a lot. This is good when dealing with waves, but I can handle waves. This helps me fight bosses, so that seems better. Found the last portal over here, so if I get this upgraded, now I can get around the map a lot faster. That'll be great. And here comes Mr. Jumbo Wave. All right, we can kind of fight them right here where they spawn, at least for a little bit, which is nice. You might be wondering what the end boss is. I was trying to run up here so I can show you, but now that I have to deal with this, that's going to be a little bit tougher. I'm just trying to soak up a load of XP right now. I've got pretty good cooldown reduction. I can use my whirlwind like every 15 seconds, which isn't half bad. So I'm going to try to kill as many of these as I can and really start scaling here. There we go. Got that. All right, let's see. We gain energy from hitting enemies, the strike, or enemies within the blazing light have a chance to stun. I mean, I think that stunning enemies could be good. I'll take it. Recovering energy isn't bad. It means you can be in berserk mode a lot longer, which I can use now, and it just makes me attack a lot faster. It is good, but you burn through all your energy really quickly if you do that. There we go. Killed the entire wave before they could do anything. So I don't have any creep support, but I can at least run forward over here and just show you what the boss looks like. It's going to be kind of hard to kill him. I'm not strong enough. There he is. Big, scary Dracolich thing. Yeah, he's got a lot of special attacks like this, and you're going to have to learn to get really competent at dodging scary things on the map. Like that. I mean, I've got a lot of ads that are approaching right now that I might be able to get to help me. So, like, these guys could try to run in. Whoa, 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 don't get hit by all that. Yeah. I don't think they're going to be able to do much, to be honest. I think I need to make these guys a lot stronger, but they've already done a surprising amount of damage. Hold on, with this, maybe we actually can just go for a kill here. Let's see what we can do. He's gonna jump around. I'm trying to apply some big honkin' bleeds onto him. Maybe we can get in there with some blazing light and do a stun of some sort. Are you gonna stun? Oh, he's dying fast. Wait a minute, maybe I've got this. Hold on. Oh, dude, this bleed is gonna finish him off. There we go. Wait a minute, that was a lot easier than I thought it was. Okay, I apparently was a lot stronger than I gave myself credit for, but also those creeps did some seriously good work. And we got in there by, what, day 4? So the creeps didn't have a chance to get too high of a level. That was reasonably quick. Not bad. We've now unlocked a handful of these different evolutions, the ones that I discovered as I leveled up, which is great. And now that I've completed a run, we get some experience in this bar, which goes from right to left for some reason in the ages system, which is little confusing, but the reason you care about ages is because, remember, the Bastion is supposed to be a time-locked city, so depending on how many ages have passed, maybe the forces of darkness have gotten a lot stronger, a whole lot tougher. We've also unlocked some new mechanics. We've got daily quests. We've got plants and potions that we can craft, which could be great. And we've also gained some perks. So now we'll be able to go to this Celestial Hourglass to unlock some new legacy evolutions, which will give me some more options in future runs. Like, for example, miners carry 10 more gold. Like, that could be relevant. Or just in general, I do more damage, or have more XP, or level up faster. You get the idea there. And then if we go down over this direction, I've unlocked a new type of magic. We have Charisma for our essence. You can only bring along 2 different types of essence, though, and you can level them up if you were to use some of these little special shards, which get you new abilities. So maybe instead of Blazing Light, I'd like to bring along Scorching Ray, which could be pretty good. Another Fate Amplified skill. Or under Nature, I could go for Dracilian Call and try to have a Ent follower. Or boost up all my friendly units. Yeah, all fun stuff there. And then finally, we've got ourselves another Warframe, which I can leave my current form and pick this one up instead. And oh, look at that. Now I'm an archer. I feel like the game just got a little bit easier. Starts with ranged volley, power shot, and evasive dash. Cool. So yeah, it's a really cool idea for a game. Really takes what you like in a MOBA from a PvE perspective, adds in some really challenging boss fights, some pretty cool mechanics. There's a bit of strategy that goes into it, and the more you understand the map, the more you know what you're looking for, the more efficient you can be with your time, which is always very precious. The only real complaint I have for the game is just the performance issues, which I didn't see too many of in this particular video, but it can be a little bit choppy at times. Doesn't feel great. Also, I'm not a huge fan of the running and then having to screech to a halt in order to attack kind of mechanic. There's supposed to be a way, I think, using left shift to like stop yourself and immediately walk, but it's not really worked the way that I want it to. So that feels awkward, and that needs to get figured out pretty early on, make it intuitive. Otherwise, people are just going to get very frustrated. Still, cool game. Really interesting demo. It is available on Steam. I'll include a link in the description down below, and I am looking forward to this getting released in March to see what has improved and just how many new features, new heroes, new abilities are going to be available. This could be pretty fun with a couple of buddies. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I would ask you hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.